That sounds good. Look forward to trying it out. Yeah, papyrus is something completely new to me. Well, kind of yes and no. Like I did a little bit back in the Fallout 3 days with Tele2 Wastelands, which was I think I used the New Vegas scripting language, which I think was kind of the same as Fallout 3. And I did like one script. I was writing like a quest script, but I haven't done anything with the new papyrus system. But yeah, it's kind of like, it's gonna be just a simple little simple little script, and, this way I can have an external map up, and it will show my current progress. And then whenever there's a crash, I can actually look at where the last position was before I crashed, because those are usually game saves. Every time I have a game save, I'll log a session, identifier with a start and stop time, a timestamp on it, and then that's, uh, sorted and organized with, crash events that also have timestamps. And that way, here, let me close this real quick. That way now Windows 11 drives me nuts. It's got way too many notifications. But that way, I can literally show a map and say, okay, this is where a lot of the crashes are happening. And at least for me, they'd have to be using the same kind of software to gather the information, same information in order for it to work. Okay, so let me show you what I was doing. So I went ahead and took this conflict utility. I know this looks completely borked up, but this has absolutely this has no theme to it whatsoever. And I'm probably going to have to come up with a base default theme. But I am still working on that mod organizer too. I think I have it. I just need to figure out why on your system it doesn't like opening the plugins, because that looks like the last thing it tried to do. I know my son, he used it, and we were going to test it today, but my daughter and then Gail, they all went out and kind of hung out together. So we had a Halloween, we got birthdays coming up, and we got all kinds of stuff we're going to have to do. And I didn't wanna bother him. I really wanted to put some more features in this before I showed it to him. And let me show you what I was kinda doing. So, here, I went ahead and put there's, there's inherent functions in each framework, so they all share the same functions, and every one of them uses, a key map. It doesn't have to have a key map. I include the key map with it, and all a key map does is map key presses to function calls. That's really all it does. So I went ahead and mapped the Q key to opening a list of games. So I was gonna put like a little drop down menu up here, but I kind of changed my mind. I had a better idea. In the games library, which I include with all these packages, there's canned reports in that library. So each library is self-contained, and it has canned reports. And one of those canned reports is available games. And all that really does is read that game's configuration file and then try to locate. So if it says that this game is located here, it tries to find it. If it can't, then it marks that game as unavailable. So, and this was actually, but not, this is Skyrim. I don't have, this is looking in the wrong folder. So that's why there's absolutely nothing here. And plugins won't bring up anything because it's in the wrong folder. But what I did was I used the key mapping file, the key maps any, to map control Q back to a function call. And that function call calls the report that calls the games library to give me a canned report, which literally is it pre-processes the report, and it just sends me the data, and all I have to do is display it. And this is available to every application because it's within that custom library. So control Q, this is what you see in my game, because that's not really, I mean, in that mod helper app, that's not really in mod helper. This this little report thing here, that is in the games library. So I thought, well, I'll use this. And the reason I want to use this, because this is a report. It uses that RPT record structure where you specify the fields you want to see. And one of the things I do when I build the library, when I find the game, is I'll get the game's icon from the actual executable. That's where this comes from. And they're probably going to be low res. I think I try to get the highest res possible. So it depends on what they have. Some of these are going to be kind of not so cool. You know, they're gonna be low res. But the nice thing about this is, I actually, because this is a report, the whole system, this whole library system, it doesn't really know. It's like, I'm just giving you a list of stuff, and I want you to show me these fields from these data structures off of these items, and that's really what it does, and it shows the version. So, this way, they can easily see the version of their games and, the author who made it. So I went ahead and did it this way. And now what I can do is let me go ahead and uncomment this out real quick. So what I can do now is I can swap games. So here I can go in and then you can see that it literally initialized for Fallout 3. So now I could actually do let's do it like this. So see, I can actually do a list on Fallout 3. Now there's not a lot of files here. There's not Thank you, honey. There's not a lot of files here that is for Fallout 3. Uh, so this is kinda like the base game, and I went ahead and took out of the I had a little edit in there so it wouldn't show like, if it's a official file, I wouldn't show that reference. Like, let's see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, I don't see one here. I Yeah, 'cause, okay, for example, if you have, Fallout 4 ESM, it wouldn't really show that reference because that's the primary that's the main plugin, main official. But what I thought is, I was thinking about that, and I thought, "Well, wait a minute," because somebody might wanna need to see the chain of not events, but the actual, resource file chain, where it starts from and where it ends. So I went ahead and took that code out. If I wanted to switch to Fallout Vegas, I switched to Fallout Vegas. And I had to fade. I used a little opacity script to fade in and out, where I was gonna fade in and out. I was actually trying to trace down where in the code where the reason it brings the code up, I had little stops in there. So I was trying to figure out why it was showing them as inactive, even though I have them in the load order, and the reason is because they're not in the game anymore. I deleted them. But you can literally flip back and forth all the games. I don't think there's any in here. Let's see. Let's take a look. Yeah, there is some. So you can see dead money, dead money. You can see, like, I have no idea what these nifs are, but this allows you to see the chain. I don't know if any of them would literally show a chain of 4 back to. Uh, yeah, I don't see any going back to Fallout Vegas ESM. Okay. And I went ahead and worked on these little themes a little bit better to make sure they're all consistent across the board. At least I have these done. I might tinker around with the quick Skyrim theme and Oblivion and Morrowind. And I also need to redisplay this because the green should be your current. It does highlight them, but it should be the current. And you have Fallout 4. So Fallout 4, and you can see that it literally, yeah, I did have to do that. I have to fade it in and out because the theme hits it so hard that it'll actually just kind of flash. It does this kind of weird, like kind of flash. But this way, you can select each individual game, and of course, everything, it all still works. This one has a lot more records because there's a lot more files in it. See, and that way, and you could still do all the search features for it. I got that spelled that right. There we go. Yeah, I've got to get it ready to hop. It's supper time. Okay, yeah. So see, you can still do all of this stuff. Let's do there. Let's see. So it all still works. You can flip back and forth in games. It looks like that. You know what we can try? Let's try something. Let's do Oblivion. Okay, I don't think that one. Yeah, that one's not gonna. What about Skyrim? Okay, Skyrim. This usually means that it's trying to open the plugins. So let's see what this does. Looks like those are the missing plugins. We'll take a look in a minute. Okay, so let's see if it works out of the box for Skyrim. Okay, good. So at least the Skyrim works. Oblivion, not so much. I'm not sure what was with that. Morrowind, God, probably not. That probably needs a I need to come up with a format, so that works. Skyrim Special Edition, I gotta figure out because it's looking at the wrong folder, and that one's not gonna be as easy as simply changing, an entry in the configuration file. I'll have to figure that one out. But, yeah, so that's what I wanna kinda show you real quick. I've gotta hop. I've got about Gail's already we gotta have some supper here, and, yeah, man, great. Look forward to trying out your program. Look forward to putting it in and see how she runs, and, hopefully, I can get this kinda resolved. I'm gonna work with my son a little bit on his system because that way I have direct access to it. He doesn't live that far away. So, we can literally sit down and run it, and if it crashes he didn't put his on the C drive, he's got his on a completely different drive. So, I'm gonna see if that resolves the problem. If it is, I can probably dummy some stuff up on C and see how it goes. Alright, man. Alright, Marcus, I'm gonna chat at you later. I've gotta hop real quick, and, I'll catch back up with you tomorrow. I know it's a work week starting for you. So, yeah, man, have fun, don't overdo it, and, I'll chat at you guys later.